Welcome back, everybody. We're getting ready, and I think that's going to be exciting today to another workshop that will teach us how to have hybrid meetings on Zoom. We have our trainer ready to go, and I'll soon introduce him and we'll get started. I'm so glad to see so many of you here, and the numbers are going up. More and more people are joining, and we're looking forward to this great and successful meeting. So as we're about to start, I will introduce to you our esteemed trainer today, Cajetan Barretto, distinguished Toastmaster. Such a great Toastmaster, quite a pedigree, and you will see now as you hear his introduction. Cajetan Barretto is a certified trainer, public speaker, behavioral assessor, and a passionate Toastmaster. And I think more will be demonstrated as you hear what he has achieved in such a short period of time. He has worked as a group manager at Al Sayed Group, a large conglomerate based in Kuwait. Welcome. Cajetan joined Toastmasters only in August 2017. And you'll see why that's important. And in the short period of time, yes, he completed his CC and his CL 4 times. Well done. It's such dedication. He's completed his ALB, sponsored clubs, his mentored club. He's been on the pathways and he's already done 4 pathways on the new educational systems. And he's currently pursuing his 5th one. And who knows, if it's written enough time, he'll probably do all 11 paths. Such a great trainer to have today. He has served as club president, vice president education, area director, division F director for the district 20, so which is serving in Kuwait and Bahrain. A lot of experience within Toastmasters. Cajetan achieved his distinguished Toastmaster, and I think that alone demonstrates all the hard work that has been put through. He was awarded the prestigious District Toastmaster of the Year in 2018 to 2019. Well done, congratulations, and looking forward to training and the workshop from such an esteemed, dedicated Toastmasters. We're so happy to have you today, Cajetan. So I'll open the floor to you, and let us be amazed and let us learn about hybrid meetings on Zoom. Welcome, Cajetan.
Thank you, Dan, for that wonderful introduction. And there is a slight update to that achievements. Last week, I received my 2nd Distinguished Toastmaster, and I have completed 5 paths and currently on my 6th path, and possibly that will be my last path in pathways. I'm done with pathways, I think, but I hope everyone else takes up pathways and does at least 2 paths to aim for the Distinguished Toastmaster Award.
Congratulations.
Let me rearrange my screen the way I like it.
Just a quick check-in from the resident Zoom master. Will you spotlight yourself as needed? I can just leave you to it, or?
So essentially, I will be doing most of the spotlighting during the workshop.
Great.
And after that, you all can take over. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So good morning, District 74. I hope all of you all had a good breakfast. I did, and we are all ready to jump into today's session, which is the technology for hybrid meetings. My name is Cajetan Barretto, as mentioned, and I will be assisted by my wife, who is also a distinguished Toastmaster. She is in the other room. Besides my love for Toastmasters, my main love is photography. And I have social media channels called Barretto Photography and Dustom Kuwait, which is an Instagram channel. And I used to love going all over the world, and South Africa is definitely on my to-do list. But unfortunately, COVID came in. And so what I did is I converted all of my photography gear and started making YouTube videos. I have a YouTube channel called Tech for Toastmasters, and that has allowed me to reach out to so many of you across the world. And Priscilla and I have been doing this workshops on hybrid meeting for the last 2-3 months. Initially, it used to take me at least an hour to set it up. But today, we got up, had a breakfast, 10 minutes before everything was set up, and we are ready to deliver our workshop to you. And I hope you find it useful going forward. To get the best out of today's session, I suggest you keep your microphones muted. Use the speaker view because I don't do much sharing. Whatever I want to share, I share it within my camera view. And do put your queries in the chat. I will be addressing any queries, concerns that you have to conduct hybrid meetings. When I say speaker view, those of you who might not know, there is a small option at the top of your Zoom client called View. And if you click on View, you will get the speaker view. Let me introduce my co-trainer, Toastmaster DTM Priscilla Dias or Barreto, whatever you want to call her. She is in the other room. Priscilla, can you just give a short introduction about yourself?
Good morning, District 74. This is DTM Priscilla, and I'm glad to be here. A member of Kuwait Challengers Toastmasters Club in Kuwait wakes up on a weekend morning to offer you this workshop. Over to you, DTM Cajetan.
Thank you, DTM Priscilla. And so let's focus on our session for today. What is a hybrid meeting? So 3 months ago, Toastmasters reached out to me and said, would you like to write an article for hybrid meetings? And they were more concerned about technology required for hybrid meetings, specifically Toastmasters. Because, you know, if you are a corporate club, you already have the setup required to conduct hybrid meetings. You would have a conference room, you have a good sound system, audio video system. But what about community clubs? What can we do as we transition from the purely online that we were forced to, and now, as mentioned by Dan, as things start relaxing, can we start working on hybrid meetings? And this is the article that I wrote for Toastmasters International. It's on the website. And to conduct this session, or to conduct this, or to write this article, I had to do a lot of trial and error to see what works at a level that is acceptable for community clubs. And that's what I'm going to focus on today. Let me post the link of this article in the chat. So hybrid meeting in its essence is where you have a group of people in one place physically and the rest connect to this meeting online. So that's a classic example of a hybrid meeting. And why are hybrid meetings so important now? It's not just for Toastmasters. Those of you who work in offices, especially in large offices, must have already started experiencing hybrid meetings because travel is difficult. You still need to conduct projects. You need to do work. And to do it effectively, online worked for some time, but now that companies are bringing employees back, you need to meet together face to face, but not all of them. Perhaps a team of project managers is sitting in one place, but they need to communicate with a team in another place. And that's a classic example of a hybrid meeting. going forward, a hybrid meeting might not essentially be one physical and many online. It could be something like this, where you have a group of people sitting in one place, another group of people sitting in another place, and then some people connecting online. And it all seems seamless. Nobody knows that you are physical, online, and we do have the technology to do this. At a Toastmaster level, how do we go about doing that? So there are 5 elements that we need to conduct an effective hybrid meeting, and we'll go through them one by one. But before I do that, let me ask the audience the question. How many of you have actually attended a hybrid meeting? You could raise your hands, you could put in the chat. Have you attended a hybrid meeting? Gina Roper has, Bertus has, many of you all have. And those of you who have not attended a hybrid meeting, at the end of this session, you can say, yeah, I have attended a hybrid meeting, all of you all, because in essence, today's meeting is a hybrid meeting. It's not just a workshop, but it is a demonstration of how we can conduct a hybrid meeting using what we call the basics, the lowest tech possible, yet have an experience that you will feel, yeah, that's possible. I can do this. I can do this in my Toastmasters club. I don't need a high-tech equipment to do this. So you start with a laptop with an internet connection, and everyone who's today in this meeting anyway has this. You have a laptop or maybe a computer and you are connected to the internet. So your first option or the first requirement of a hybrid meeting is already done. You need a microphone. Again, all of you have a microphone. That's how you are able to communicate in an online meeting. But we'll see in a hybrid meeting what we might need to enhance that microphone to get better quality so that the online audience are able to hear you clearly. You need a speaker. And when I say speaker, I'm not talking about a person. I'm talking about the speaker that is on your laptop, maybe, or on a headphone. You need a speaker to listen to. Again, you have it on your laptop. You need a camera so that the online audience can see what's happening in the physical location. And you need a display so that the online audience is visible to the physical attendees. So if you think about it, your laptop, if you look at it, it has all of these 5 elements. It has a microphone, it has a speaker, it has a display, it has a camera, and of course it's connected to the internet. So you can theoretically conduct a hybrid meeting with just a laptop. But we'll see why we might need to enhance this by looking at how we can make it really effective. So let me demonstrate to you the hybrid room that I have created for this demonstration. So this is essentially our living room. It's in another room across the house. And we do conduct many of our club meetings in this room. 4 or 5 of our club members who want to give their speeches in person, they come over here and we sit and we have a hybrid meeting. We haven't yet gone to a physical location because that was in a company's location, and the rules have not yet relaxed for outsiders to go in that room. But essentially, I could replicate the same setup and take that to our normal location, which could accommodate in the current situation, I guess, 8 to 10 people, because in a normal setup, we used to meet up to 20, but now with the social distancing, obviously we cannot meet in 20 people in that room. So 8 to 10 people, and the rest have to join online. Currently, 4 to 5 people we comfortably meet in this room. So if you observe the setup that I have here, there is a laptop, and Priscilla is standing there next to the laptop. And what's the next thing? The next thing we talk about is the camera. So let me highlight the camera. So this could be your laptop's web camera, and we sometimes use that. But in this particular case, I'm using another web camera. And the reason is, if I replace the spotlight and show you, there is a tripod and I have placed a web camera on top there. And the reason, of course, is whenever you want to deliver any speech, or when you want to deliver your speech, always we recommend that the camera should be at the eye level. And that way, I wanted to place the web camera at the same level as the participant who is delivering the speech or a role there. I could use the web camera from the laptop, but then what I'll have to do is I'll have to lift the laptop all the way, maybe put 2 or 3 boxes, and that might be inconvenient to operate the laptop itself, right? So that's the reason we just connected a simple web camera and then placed it on a tripod so that you get this view that we are talking about, and we are done. But if you don't have a separate web camera, you might as well just use the laptop, but place it at a height that will give the speaker the right view when he or she is speaking. So that is the camera. Now let's talk about the microphone, the heart of a hybrid meeting. Now the laptop does have a microphone, and if Priscilla was to speak, we would hear her. It's not that we won't hear her, but the problem will be, because it's a physical meeting, people would start walking left and right, forward and backward to deliver their speeches, and then the microphone would struggle to capture the audio of the speaker. So this is, in my opinion, the only element, if you want to have a excellent hybrid meeting, that you need as a club to invest in some kind of a system. It could be a wireless microphone that you clip, as I will demonstrate to you. It could be a wired microphone, which is much cheaper, few dollars maybe, that you hook into the laptop and then you clip it to your clothing while you are speaking. It could be a speakerphone that you find in a corporate environment, cost maybe $100. But sound is one area, if you want to conduct hybrid meeting, is you need to invest some money. It might be little, it might be reasonable, but that's the only investment as a club to conduct hybrid meeting you need to look at: audio. So let's look at the audio from Priscilla. Hi, Priscilla.
Hello.
So Priscilla is using a wireless microphone called a Rode Wireless Go. Okay, and it's connected to my laptop through a wireless system. And the advantage here is, whenever the speaker comes, he can just pick it up, clip it to his clothing, and then start speaking. And you, as an online audience, will hear her very clearly wherever she walks. So Priscilla, can you just give us a demo, talking, walking in front of the main camera, and let's see how you sound.
Okay. Once again, good morning, District 74. It's a pleasure being here to conduct this workshop. And I have a surprise for you during this workshop. So let's see, as we progress with this workshop, I will let you know the surprise.
Thank you very much.
Was that loud enough?
Yes. So as you can see, wherever she is in that hybrid room, as long as the microphone is close to her, we will be able to hear the audience from that room very clearly. So it looks like a normal meeting. It doesn't look like a hybrid meeting. But when we conduct hybrid meetings and we have these people, I can see the difference. Whenever I've given my projects, standing there, I get that feeling of giving, in the good old days before COVID, how we used to use a body language, eye contact. I can talk to the person sitting there. So you are enjoying the best of both worlds. Let's look at, so the microphone is taken care. Let's look at the speaker, which means when I'm speaking, whoever is in that room should be able to hear me clearly also. So it's not just that we should hear what the in-person audience is speaking. They should be able to hear what we are saying. And for that, we have many options. In this particular case, I have connected a small Bluetooth speaker, and that Bluetooth speaker is connected to the laptop, which means it's very loud. Everyone can hear what's going on in the online meeting, and they can hear what we are saying very clearly. And the final piece is the display. And this is the only part where you have to sort of be creative. You don't have to invest anything. You just have to be creative. Now, if people are sitting around in this room, whether it's on the sofa or if it is on chairs, what will happen is they need to see the online audience to be part. Otherwise, it will feel disconnected. And the way you would do that is to connect the laptop to some kind of a display. If your meeting room has a TV, well and good. And that's what we are going to connect here because it's a living room. We have a TV. We can connect it to the laptop using a simple HDMI cable. If not, remember in the old days, when we used to have presentations, we used to carry a projector. So you could connect a projector and project that on the wall so that the audience in the room can see all the online attendees. So by connecting this TV and perhaps switching to gallery view, so the audience in the room now can sort of interact with the online audience because all those whose videos are on, they can see them in that one screen. So we have the makings of a hybrid meeting. We have a microphone that you have invested because you want the best audio possible, because in any meeting, online or hybrid, audio is your number one concern. You fix that, the rest is actually, you can cobble around from bits and pieces from here and there. The speaker, just hook up a small Bluetooth speaker or anything that will allow the audience to hear what's going on. The camera, your web camera is good enough. Your laptop camera itself is good enough. If you want an additional camera, that's also good. And the display, either a TV or a projector. You might notice that I have two cameras in that room, right? So I have the view of only Priscilla, that's the person, let's say, who is going to speak or take up a role. They will be delivering it from the podium here. But I have also this view, the second view, where you can see the whole room. And so the online audience can see who's there in the meeting. And this is actually a very simple trick that I use. I just connected my mobile phone. I placed it on another small tripod and I kept it on the table behind. So I've connected that smartphone, and if you look at the participant list, you will find one participant called audience view. And if you look at that participant, you will notice that only the video is enabled. There is no audio. And this is the trick of having multiple devices in a hybrid meeting that do not cause echo. Because those of you who have used or tried to connect to a meeting from two devices, maybe from one laptop and one from phone or iPad, immediately you realize that there is a problem, because the moment you unmute yourself, you will hear an echo and it can be very annoying. So the way you do that is, so if you look at my screen now that I'm sharing, if you are using a Mac or something like that, so at the bottom we have this option called audio or audio settings. And there is an option here called leave computer audio. So if you leave computer audio, that means you are connected to this meeting without audio. So if you have multiple devices connected, you can connect for the video part of it, but you must make sure that they are not connected to audio. And that way you have a seamless hybrid meeting. In fact, if there are a couple of members and they all want to share different views of the hybrid meeting, maybe one of the speaker, one of the whole room, one another angle, they can all connect their smartphones to the meeting. Just make sure that you don't connect audio. So some of the options that you can experiment is if you have a laptop, right? And you want to, your camera is from the laptop, you want to use the display from the laptop, and then we can use a device like this, which is called a speakerphone. It combines two functions in one. It acts as a speaker, so you can listen to the audio on that, and it acts as a microphone. It has a couple of microphones that can pick up the audio from across the room. Sometimes I use this in some meetings. If I don't want people to clip the microphone every time they come up to the stage, I sometimes use this device. This devices cost around $100 in US. I don't know about other places, but that's the type of cost that you can. So if you're going for a hybrid meeting, you take your laptop, you take this device, put it in a bag, and as long as your laptop has internet connection, you're pretty much good to go. You'll just have to worry whether there's a TV or a projector in the room. And that's all you would need to conduct a hybrid meeting. So here, the way I have set it up and the way you see it right now is the laptop, which is how you can see Priscilla. And as I said, I connected a smartphone to give you the wide angle view of this meeting and placed it on a tripod so that you have this, what we call the audience view. You can have multiple audience views. I just use one in this case. And then the laptop is connected to my TV here. But since I'm not using a smartphone, the setup that I have used actually is something like this. So my laptop is connected to the speaker for the sound and a wireless microphone for the person who's delivering the projects or speeches. So this is the setup that is currently what I'm demonstrating. And this works pretty good. So now to give you an experience of how the hybrid meetings would look like or feel like, let's have a short demo hybrid meeting. And the way we do that is we conduct a small table topic session. Priscilla will do that. And as you all know, a table topic session is an opportunity for you to speak for 1 to 2 minutes. And while you are delivering your table topic, I will act as the timer. So let me show you how I'll show you the timing device.
Stop sharing.
So at 1 minute, my screen will turn green. At 1.5 minutes, it will turn yellow. And at 2 minutes, it will turn red. So Priscilla will be the table topic master for today. She has some interesting topics for you. I want you all to first of all take part in it just to get an experience of how you are interacting in a hybrid meeting, and that will give you a feeling of, yeah, let's go and do it for our own club. I hope all of you all are ready. And that was, I guess, the surprise that she had in mind, and that I have already spoiled her surprise. And with that, over to you, DTM Priscilla, the table topic master.
Okay, you will need to stop sharing. Hello?
Okay. That is still on. I didn't realize.
So this was my surprise, which has already been spelled out to you all. And to begin this table topic segment, which we do at every workshop, I would like to, I want to ask, should I give the topic and then you volunteer, or do I have volunteers for this session?
No, I suggest we follow the same protocol. Give the topic, let them think about it and jump at the opportunity.
Okay, so as mentioned by the trainer, I will read the topic first, and then we can have volunteers take up this topic. So the first topic is, if you had the ability to compete in any Olympic event, which one would you choose to enter? If you had the ability to compete in any Olympic event, which one would you choose to enter? Any volunteers? Yes, Toastmaster Robert. Yes, Toastmaster Robert, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Madam Topics Master. If I were given an opportunity to enter into an Olympics competition, certainly I would go for cycling. I am a passionate cyclist and I enjoy cycling the most. Why do I enjoy it? It is one of the mind-boggling exercises. It keeps you fit, and I can guarantee you, if you dare go for it, the challenges you meet there will make you grow and become that strong person, mind-wise, strength, and wholly, you'll be the best version of yourself. Hence, if you want to do something as wonderful, as great as it could be, for me, cycling stands out. Over to you, madam.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Robert. That was excellent. Cycling. Oh my gosh. When did I last do that? I think I should take over and do some cycling to get all those things that you have mentioned in your table topic. Moving on to the next topic. Who is the most famous person you have ever met? Who is the most famous person you have ever met? Any volunteers? Okay, Dorothy. Yes, Toastmaster Dorothy, the stage is yours.
I met Verity Price. Do you know Verity? The world champion of public speaking. I am so happy and grateful that I met Verity. I met Verity a few years ago, and then I meet her often online. I am so grateful that Toastmasters allows us to even be close to famous people. So when people ask me sometimes, who is in the picture with you? I say, a world champion called Verity. I have met Verity. Back to you, Madam Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Dorothy. I must say I've had the pleasure of meeting our world champion Barreto Prize at one of our meetings here in Kuwait. She came here to deliver her speech, to practice her speech, and I was part of that meeting. So yes, I too can say that I have met a famous person. Thank you so much. Are we ready for the third topic? Okay, the third topic is, what world record would you want to establish if you could? What world record would you want to establish if you could? Anybody aiming for any world record can take this topic. Moderator, can you help me figure out if anybody has raised their hands? Okay, do we have Toastmaster Andy?
Fatima has unmuted
Yes,
herself.
yes.
Yes, the stage is yours.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. The world record for public speaking is 23 speeches in a day. I'd like to make it 24 speeches in a day. What it consists of, having more than 10 people at a venue and having 24 different venues, and you'll have to speak for 10 minutes on different subjects, not the same subject at each venue. And that's, I saw, was one of the Guinness Book of Records, and I thought that would be nice to do, but I need to pluck up the courage to do it. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Table topics, sorry.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Andy. Now that is a challenge there. 24 speeches, 24 different locations, 10 minutes each speech. Wow, that is something absolutely amazing. And I think we should do something like that. And if you're up to it, go ahead. All the best to you. Do we have time for more topics?
One more last. Just last, one more.
Okay, I could not hear that, but I could lip read what was said. So here's the next topic. Okay, which one? Okay. If you were a multimillionaire, where would you be, and what would you believe, and what do you believe you would be doing at this moment? So let's keep it short. If you were a multimillionaire, what would you be doing at this very moment?
Maybe they're all multi-millionaires and already are here. Maybe try another topic.
Okay. Okay. The next topic is, if you were given the opportunity to be an apprentice to any person, living or deceased, from whom would you want to learn? If you were given an opportunity to be an apprentice to any person, living or deceased, from who would you want to learn? Anyone
If I
for this
may.
one last topic? Yes, Zoom Master.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I would love to learn from the great mind of Leonardo da Vinci. I find it absolutely fascinating, the array of avenues that he explored with his thoughts and imagination and the creations that he made. So I think that would be a really worthwhile apprenticeship to have. Thank you. Back to you, Madam Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Zoom Master. Thank you for attempting that topic. Yes, Leonardo da Vinci, who would not want to be an apprentice to him? And with that, we come to the end of this table topic segment, and I hand over to our trainer, DTM Cajetan.
Thank you for conducting that very engaging table topic master Priscilla. This was just to give you a feel of what a hybrid meeting should feel like. In essence, if there was people here, you could hear them clearly and they could hear us clearly. You wouldn't feel any difference from having an online meeting or whether it's a hybrid meeting. Let me talk about some of the challenges that we face as Toastmasters to do something like that. And some of these challenges, in my opinion, are more of a getting used to online. We are so used to having online meetings now in almost 2 years that we can attend any club, any district, just log in and you are inside a meeting and you can multitask and do some other activities. And that has sort of put a mindset in them that this is fine, let's continue like this. But at the same time, those of us who are used to physical meetings and the rush that you get when you deliver your speech in front of a physical audience, those are the people I'm sure who are looking forward to, first of all, start with hybrid meetings and then hopefully fully in person. So some of the challenges that you might face, other than the apathy of people to actually meet in person or to drive to a location, or maybe the local restrictions are not yet lifted, is you need a fairly good experience in Zoom. Because as you notice, while I was conducting this workshop, I was spotlighting certain people. I was sort of adept at the various tools and technology. So having the laptop, having the speaker or the speakerphone or the wireless microphone, whatever technology you choose, you need to be practicing it. And as I mentioned, when we first did this workshop 2 or 3 months ago, we were really struggling. It took us maybe 1 hour to get everything set up. But now that we kept doing it, we don't have to think about it. You want a hybrid workshop? Okay, 10 minutes before, we know what to start up, what to connect, and we are up and running. And the same thing will happen if you start doing it for your club. Initially, it might be a failure. People might say, oh, I can't hear, I can't see, the connection is not good. But as you keep doing it, and that's natural, right? Even in Toastmasters, when we give an icebreaker, it's not the same thing as when we give a 10th speech. The practice and the feedback and the evaluation is what makes you reach that level. So if you want to do really great hybrid meetings, you need to start with a hybrid meeting. Your first meeting might not be the great hybrid meeting, but you need to invest the time and perhaps a little amount of money, as I mentioned, for the microphone, and get the ball rolling, start it. Those who take the effort to come for the physical location will really appreciate it. They'll really enjoy that experience of giving speeches, standing up, having that eye contact with the person in the room, using your body language. And that's what we are here for, right? We are here to improve our communication skills. I believe we have reached a saturation point when it comes to online. There's nothing much we can do about it. It's time to go back to the physical or hybrid meetings. And the skills that you will create to conduct these hybrid meetings will serve you well when you go to work, because that's where you will shine, because suddenly you know how it works, you know how to communicate effectively. So that brings me to the end of my session.
There's one thing. Can you just show how to connect the audio and video? I mean, you've shown how to connect, but we need to change the settings in Zoom. Otherwise, then that's where people cannot hear and cannot see those issues come up.
Excellent, yes. So when you have your setup, right, and you are talking about microphones. So basically what will happen is when you connect an external microphone, you have now two microphones on the device, the one from the laptop and the one from the whatever other device you've connected. Similarly, if you have connected a separate web camera or maybe even a professional DSLR camera to give that sense of professionalism in a hybrid meeting, then you will have two cameras in your on your laptop. And at the bottom you see here, we can change the devices. Like for example, audio device. Right now I'm connected to one audio device. If you want to switch to another device, you will select that device. Similarly, if you click this arrow, you can choose the different video options that are available to you. And the way you can make sure that it all works, your audio and video works, is always come to the audio settings. Make sure that the right device is selected. Test it always. Microphone, always test it and make sure it works. Similarly, when it comes to video, come to the video and make sure the right video source is selected. So once that is done, you are good to go. So thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to demonstrate to you a low-tech technology for hybrid meetings. I'm now open for any questions that you might have.
We've had a couple of questions in the chat. If I can relay the two of them to you quickly. The first one is, can I use my cell phone if I don't have a laptop?
Well, let's think about the hybrid meeting. And if you are thinking of conducting a hybrid meeting using just a mobile, there's no harm, by the way. You can do it. Like you can have a mobile in the room, but imagine then how will the audience who are sitting in that room see the online audience, because the screen is very small. They'll have to all huddle around your laptop, your mobile. Similarly, if they want to give a speech standing up and it's far from the mobile, then the experience might not be so good. As I mentioned to you, your device has all of these capabilities. It has a display, it has a microphone, it has a speaker, but the quality of that meeting might suffer. So if somebody from the online audience is speaking and you are listening to it on a mobile phone, how loud can it be? Everyone will sort of lean forward to listen what's being said. Of course, you could connect your mobile to a Bluetooth device so the sound is amplified, but the display is so small, you may struggle. I'm not saying you can't do it, but it might not be optimum.
And
I hope that answers the question.
Something I thought of is some cell phones can extend their display to the television, smart TVs. So that would be a way of getting the display out as well. The next question was, will you be covering lighting? So could you address lighting, please?
Well, let's look at this hybrid meeting here. I don't have any special lighting. It's just the normal room lighting, and it's fine. So because it's a web camera or a smartphone or whatever you're using, as long as it can pick up the video clearly and there is enough light in the room, I think that's the only requirement. There is no special need for lighting, at least from a hybrid meeting point of view. But if you're talking about lighting for me, for example, sitting here on online, then the important thing about lighting is that you should have plenty of light in front of you. And that's why I have some LED panels in front of me to light me. But for a hybrid meeting, I don't think you can do anything, or there's any need for any special lighting. Just make sure that all the lighting fixtures in that room work.
I see Bertus has raised his hand.
Go ahead, Bertus.
Thanks. I have tried a situation where I run an application, an app, WO mic on my cell phone, and then that connects via the Wi-Fi to a server which runs on my laptop. However, on my home Wi-Fi, I get a good. I essentially use the cell phone as a microphone then over the WO mic app. However, on my home Wi-Fi, it works well, but when I'm at the meeting venue and use my tablet as a wireless hotspot, it's horrible. Does anyone have experience with such applications?
So there are many, I understand what you're trying to do. You're trying to convert your mobile into a good microphone, right? Through a Wi-Fi, and then it goes to the laptop. This is one of the options. Of course, you can try. I haven't tried it myself because, as I mentioned to you, I wanted a system where even if it is a few dollars or whatever the case might be, the audio has to be direct. While the audio goes through a Wi-Fi link and then ends up on your laptop, you'll find a kind of a lag between what you see and what you hear, because there is this delay, right? As you said, if the signal is strong, it works fine. But if the signal is weak, you have a challenge. But that's a challenge you need to figure out and overcome if you want to continue with that technology. But there are plenty of cheaper options, I would say, rather than this, because this thing is something only you can do. Tomorrow, if you are not there for this hybrid meeting, the others won't know how to do it, right? You need something which is simple, that they know that you need a laptop, you need this device and that device. So anybody can come and start that hybrid meeting. It doesn't become, you don't have to rely on one person to conduct this hybrid meeting. So in that way, if you were to think about a laptop, a kind of a Bluetooth speaker, we know, okay, that's the speaker we will connect. And then you have a microphone, whatever that might be. And that's the setup that we will use. Then everybody can replicate it. They just need that equipment to start the meeting. Anybody would be able to do it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Another question from the chat from Tafara, a two-pronged question. Do we necessarily have to set up a microphone for each speaker? And if that's the case, what is the maximum number of mics that can be connected to a laptop? And then she'd also be glad if you can elaborate on the speakerphone device. Does that allow us to have one microphone in the room? Over to you.
Okay, so let's deal with the first question, which is very simple. And for that, what I would request is ask Priscilla to, first of all, keep the microphone on the table, wherever, not clipped to her. So as you can notice now, the microphone is just placed on the laptop. And the microphone is good enough to pick up audio from quite a distance. So let's say Priscilla starts talking. By unmuting yourself first.
Sorry about that. So I guess District 74, enjoyed this surprise, the table topic segment. I hope you all enjoyed it. And at least I enjoyed the table topic, especially was so unique for the top. I did not think that Vanity Price would have been the famous person who would have wanted to meet. So that came as a surprise to me.
So there is something very interesting I want you to notice. This microphone was able to pick up audio as she was moving around the room. So I don't need a microphone for each speaker, right? The only difference is when you are the main speaker, when you are delivering a project, it is advisable that the microphone stays close to you so that we can hear everything clear and crisp. So when we run the hybrid meeting, most of the time that microphone is just left on the laptop. We can hear, the online audience can hear whatever is going in that room. And whenever we want to make sure that our speech is delivered perfectly, we ask them to just remove it and clip it to their clothing. That's it. So my opinion is, don't have more than one microphone. You will simply, of course you can do, but the technology becomes more complicated. You might have to have like a mixer or some other advanced devices, and it becomes a little more complicated. But as you could see, it was fine. Regarding the second question about speakerphone device, I would request the person who actually does, because I don't use this, so I cannot expand too much on that, using the mobile as a microphone. I'm assuming he's using some kind of an app that connects via the Wi-Fi and transmits the audio from the mobile into the microphone, into the laptop as audio. There are some devices like apps like that which even allow you to take video from your mobile and transmit it to the laptop as though it's an external web camera. So all these things are app based, not really reliable, but they work if you have the right connection, high-speed Wi-Fi within that area.
Just a quick comment. Maybe Tafaro was referring to the speaker/microphone device that you showed in one of your images.
A speakerphone device. Okay, I'm sorry about that. That is actually a very interesting device. It is in my laptop bag, Priscilla, I think. If you can just remove it and just see if it is there. So you are talking about this one. Okay, so this is actually, it can be connected via Bluetooth, or it can be connected via USB, and it has two functions. Okay, so Priscilla is showing it on the screen. Let me just spotlight her. So that's the device. And what it does is it has microphones all over the, I would say it has, and it has something like echo cancellation. So it will only pick up the audio of people speaking and then convert that into audio for the meeting. So that is this type of devices. There are different brands. You can search for them. The one which I'm using is a brand called Anchor. Cost about $100. And that could be a good solution, by the way, because when you connect that, you don't have to worry about microphone. You don't have to worry about the speaker. It's a two-in-one device. Yeah.
Just has his hand up again.
Thank you. The other issue I'd like to mention is that one club of which I'm a member, our physical venue is a room with large flat surfaces. I mean the walls, without any curtains or furniture close to that. So the physical echoes inside the room is actually quite severe. So that poses additional challenges. So if I compare now with the room in which your wife Priscilla is now, there's curtains at least there, there's other furniture that can scatter the sound, and that actually increases the need for a microphone close to the speaker or to anyone that speaks during the meeting.
Absolutely. I must agree with that 100%. The larger your room, then what will happen is the sound will spread and echo all over the place. But if you have sound dampening equipment like carpets or let's say curtains, then you don't need fancy audio equipment. So if your room is large and it's difficult to hear and there is too much echo happening, then you need what we are using. You need a microphone that's very close to the speaker's mouth. So it will pick up only that audio and not have any of the echo that would otherwise be there.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions in the audience? Anybody else wants to comment on their own experience of hybrid meeting? Many people raised their hands earlier on. Is there anybody in the audience who wants to share how well it went and what they've learned in this workshop? Okay, Bertus?
Yeah, the other tip that I have learned is it is very useful to have an online Zoom master in addition to the one in the room, because in the physical room, because the online Zoom master experiences the meeting in a different way than the one in the physically in the room, and that helps a lot.
Yeah, I agree again with you, Bertus. If you are having a hybrid meeting and you want to have the best experience for the online audience, then the Zoom master should be the online person, not the one in the room, because the people who are in the room, let them just focus on their physical delivery, but the online person orchestrates what is spotlighted for the online audience, what is the let's say sequence of events. So yes, the online should be the Zoom master, in my opinion. And very important, one of the what I should say, the psychological aspects of hybrid meeting is something I would like to address, is that there is this feeling that, okay, there is a bridge between, or the hard border between those who are attending physically and those who are online. And sometimes they feel disconnected. Like, people in the room are having a lot of fun. They're laughing and enjoying snacks, maybe even. And then you are observing them from your online account. And for that, my suggestion is, when you're conducting any hybrid meeting, always be aware of that everyone should be feeling equal. That means there should be a constant back and forth between the physical audience and the online audience. Keep that connection open, so everyone feels part of that meeting and nobody feels that I am a second-class citizen in this meeting.
And that's such a great point to raise. Lillian, I see that you raised your hand earlier on. Will you be able to comment?
Yes, he addressed what I was going to say. I've been to a hybrid meeting. I was on Zoom. I was visiting another club, and they all went to have tea. And when we're on a Zoom meeting, and even though there's a break, some of us still stay online to chat to the guests whoever's still online during the break. We don't like stop the meeting totally. We network and chat during our tea time. And when we went to that hybrid meeting, everyone in the physical meeting just went off and got tea. And we were visitors on Zoom, and we were left to, we didn't know anybody. We didn't know how to make conversation. It was awkward. So yes, to keep the vibe going, the people in the room.
This is very important. This is very important, Lillian. I 100% agree. If you want to have a hybrid meeting, go with a hybrid meeting mentality, not a physical meeting. And there are some people there, and they are on their own whenever we are having. So I wouldn't have a break in a hybrid meeting, because that would, as I said, break the whole connection, right? Think of having a hybrid meeting where you're always connected. If you must have snacks, if you must have a break, then inform the online audience, that you must also have a break at the same time. In fact, there are a lot of research is being done, because hybrid meetings are going not only for Toastmasters, but for work also. So when you talk about hybrid meetings, if you want to do some activity, the online audience must also experience the same thing. So that means they should also be prepared to have a break and a tea or whatever you all are having, so that you feel all connected. Otherwise, it will not work.
I wanted to add, with the option of having extra cameras, you actually can take a camera along to the pause area if people want to invest in a bit more. So you actually take a tripod and move it around. So there will be interesting ideas on how to include the online audience if the club is aware that it's a hybrid meeting. I can imagine taking a tripod and a smartphone to the station, and as people are enjoying their snacks, people can still hear the conversation, they can still be part of the meeting. And that's really amazing ideas that have come forth in this workshop.
Yeah, and especially now, if you were to look at this setup, and there now my cat has come into the picture, she wants to be part of the hybrid meeting, but whoever is there, you know that the microphone is able to pick up the audio from across the room. So when you're having the conversation, have it not only with the people in the room, but with the online audience also, and keep all the online audience on gallery view so that you are always connected, even if there is a break.
There are some great comments on the chat. I think a lot of them are very congratulatory to you, Cajetan. So people are finding a lot of value to the training. Is there anybody else who has a comment before we conclude this workshop? I see very helpful session indeed in the chat comments. And there's a few that I've missed. I remember Robert made a comment earlier on.
I see Bertus has got one more comment.
Yeah, I just want to also, something that we've heard from some clubs here, while we're experiencing the teething and learning problems of getting to run a hybrid meeting well, it may be advisable to run one meeting as hybrid and one meeting as purely Zoom, so that at least when the experience is not so good for the online audience, that they don't get frustrated by successive meetings being hybrid meetings that is not so well run. So to grow into that, to get speed up and get it right, it takes time then. So that's just a suggestion that I picked up from some other Toastmasters club.
Yes, whatever works for your club, give it a try. The whole thing is to start experimenting. Just like when the COVID happened, what are the reactions? Some of our clubs said, oh, we'll wait for the COVID to end. Some experimented, and those who experimented then were able to achieve their goals because they were early to the race, right? Same way in hybrid meetings. Start it. Okay, if it doesn't give the same experience, at least you'll learn what works and doesn't work. Continue with the online meetings, but don't give it up. As you rightly said, maybe have one hybrid, one online, so that the transition becomes smoother.
I see one more interesting question in the chat. Kindly advise for Toastmaster of the Day for hybrid event, which option is best, an online Toastmaster or a Toastmaster of the Day in the physical room?
Whatever works best for you. We have tried both. We have had a Toastmaster of the Day in the room conducting the session. We have had Toastmaster of the Day online. There is no right or wrong here. You need to experiment, right? So there is, this is the only way to do it. Whatever works for your club, engages your members, excites them, that's what you should be doing.
So if there's no more comments, I'd like to thank Cajetan and his co-host, demonstrator, Master Priscilla. Thank you very much. This was an amazing training workshop. I learned a lot, and I'm so keen to go and actually push more clubs to experiment with hybrid meetings. I was attending a meeting recently at Pretoria Toastmasters, and one of the 2 or 3 members gathered in the same room because they were close to each other and lived. So the hybrid meeting concept, it's not complicated because you can go and join a friend who lives next door and already start experimenting with the concepts that are here. And the ability to be physically in a room, stand up and have high contact with actual faces and not just the camera enhances your Toastmasters experience. that was such a useful workshop. I'm so glad I'm a participant of it. I'm learning. I'm pumped up to go and get started and encourage more and more people to do it. Already we're experiencing the hybrid meeting as we go along. And this skills works if you even take it to the workplace where they already have a lot of technology setups, but they don't have the learnings that Toastmasters bring to the party to enhance every meeting in our life, all the aspects of our lives, work, home, or community.